Canada in the house.
Hi.
We have almost every continent.
What are we missing? We're missing
Ando,
Africa.
Ando, what's up, Ando? This is our good friend, Andoni. We met in Tulum, Mexico. He's a lawyer and into the regenerative real estate mission. When we were first getting started on this journey, he was working on a project that essentially encapsulated vision of preserving and regenerating land and putting successful business models on top of that land. Nice to see you, Ando.
Hey, what's up, Regents?
Ando, where are you? Where are you?
Yeah, well, I'm in England and my son is downstairs feeding with my wife. So
You can.
I've got a beautiful baby room setting, and he might join us for one class or two.
Cool.
And
Too
yeah,
early to start.
so lovely to see you, and I'm really excited to really kick off into this like community master plan, community maker, and you guys have such a trajectory. I've seen you add and multiply all the way up. So really excited to be a part of this and happy to collaborate and make some amazing projects come to life.
Yes, yes, yes. One of our first meetings when we arrived in Mexico about 3 years ago, before really the whole mission of community creation launched, was with Andoni and a team he was working with then. So you've really seen us from like start to where we're at. So really grateful for you to be here.
No, from activist, and it's been parallel journeys. I love it, and I'm happy to be following those amazing Regen footsteps that you guys have like really taken all over the world.
Oh yeah, grateful to have you. Intelligent, diligent worker, and like same download, you guys. All of us are here because we're all receiving this download of this understanding that humans as well as the planet can benefit from this concept, right? The word we're using is regenerative neighborhood. And one of the initial things we're going to go over in the course is the words that are out there in the space, right? Eco-village is one. Sustainable community is another one. Any names for these kinds of projects that you guys are familiar with or use in your areas? Feel free to share, feel free to, right? This is a mastermind, you can call it. And all of you with the experiences that you have, you know, Andoni consulting projects, Michael starting your own project in Canada, Akash, the same. Jam in Turkey doing the same with his own project. Vivo traveling around the world right now, getting immersed in projects and supporting them in their growth as well. We are all looking for the way to spread this movement, the regenerative neighborhood movement, as we're calling it. Living spaces that are focused on sustainability, having our own water, food, and energy sources, and intention, meaning that the humans living together there are all in alignment about at least one, but more than likely multiple things. And getting to make this fusion of infrastructure and humans balanced and integrated is the journey of creating a regenerative neighborhood. And this, at a micro scale, is what creating society is. The way we live, how we interact with each other, and how we interact with our surroundings. So welcome, you guys. Grateful everybody's here. Really happy to be in the room with like-minded humans, all motivated to take time out of their schedule to learn and explore topics for this journey. We've been working on this for a few years now. We're all going to share a bit. I'd love to invite you guys to check out the link in the chat here. Once you're not driving, be safe, first of all. And for you guys on your computers or on your phones, Nicole has created a beautiful Miro board, which will be like an interactive digital white erase board, where we will be working and interacting, ideating, and sharing the topics course by course, class by class. So you guys get to interact with us, and our whole journey of community creation isn't, we know everything, this is the best way to do it, by any means. We are just researchers gathering information and doing our best to synthesize this information and organize it so others can share their magic and their experiences. Starting with the Alchemy Guide, moving on to the Tribes platform, and now with this education that we will be sharing in different parts of the year and in different places around the world. So I invite you all to check out the Miro link.
Yeah, Nicole just posted Nicole just posted the link. You guys can all go in there. Maybe I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, you can share the screen for the ones that aren't on a computer and just follow along.
See.
It is a fun experience on the computer to move around. You can see everybody else that's on the board and what they're doing. There's some interactive things on there. And I would love to give the floor to Nicole and Sonia to give an introduction of themselves, share, and then to everyone in the room to share. Well, we'll share that after. So you guys go ahead.
So my name is Sonia. I am working on Regen Tribe for over 2 years now. My journey started as an explorer. I moved to Mexico. I got involved as a volunteer in a community space called Ecomal that Oscar and Julia that's out on the call right now were turning from a hotel to a community space. So that was really exciting for me. And not long after we moved to Tulum and started working with many other projects as a marketing agency, as consultants. So it's been a really fruitful journey, a lot of pivots on the way as it is, and I think it's healthy. And yeah, I'm really happy. My main focus right now is recruitment, collective growth. So any of you that would like to get more information about that and throughout the course, I'm definitely going to be supporting you and guiding in any way that you need. And project management, so keeping all the moving pieces together as much as possible. Yeah, really excited to be here and get to know you guys a little bit more. A couple of you that I haven't heard yet, and I would be keen to find out a little bit more information about what drives you, what makes you motivated to join that call and become a Regenerative Neighborhood agent. But before that, Nicole.
Hey guys, also really lucky to be on the same team with Oscar and Sonia. It's been like a year and a couple months, man. Like last October in 2022, I met Oscar on a GaiaNet call, and we were working on all the same things when it came to designing a platform where people can meet and connect with other people, projects, and resources, building, regenerative communities. I come from like 5 years of being a hard nerd for eco villages, which is kind of like the first wave of what the communities that happened in the 70s, which are being upgraded in so many ways with regenerative practices and new wave technologies, like Web3, like next generation stuff. And you'll hear us throw around a lot of these words too. So we're going to be kind of going into that to make sure that we're all on the same page. But really, really excited to be able to contribute different storytelling and marketing skills, as well as research of different resources and synthesizing our findings. We spend a lot of time interviewing vision holders of projects, people who have started communities, reading the literature, finding all of the articles and the books and the real life cases. We travel to and visit different communities and as a collective, and we synthesize our findings and part of this program, the core part of it is sharing those findings with more people, so we can kind of distribute this model of, we don't want to be gatekeepers of how to do this. We just want to see more of these places built. So this was actually brainchilded by Lila, who's a member of our collective, who's not here, but will be a facilitator for some parts of this course as well. So she'll be with us on Thursday. And that's kind of how we're going to be operating. Sometimes some of us will be presenting or speaking. Sometimes, you know, a few of us will be on the call facilitating, just depending on all of our schedules. But of course, we all want to be here present to be with you along the journey and walking you through. So I see some of you guys adding your names. I like it. I like that also Akash is like adding like a little note about what he does and who he is and what he's about. So that could be really cool too, if you want to add a little note like, Michael has a community in Canada, Vivo, traveling to communities. That could be really cool to see. So I know everybody shared their names kind of to us individually, but I think it would be really helpful for group cohesion if we wanted to go through and just share your name, where you're calling from, and why you're excited about regenerative neighborhoods. I would love to see everybody's face. Let me see. Okay. I nominate Jem.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, it's Jem. I'm from Turkey, and now I'm in Istanbul, but I hope I will be in Mexico with Nicole, maybe, let's see, in February. And I joined here because, like, since 1.5 years, I think, since I met with TDF, the Traditional Dream Factory in Portugal, my life vision was completely changed. And since then, I'm just following my heart and trying to start something in Turkey. In last maybe 8 months, I was in Hatay. It's a city affected by a big earthquake, and everything is starting from very beginning right now there. So I'm here because I just want to know more. Like this agent training is amazing for me, because this is what is missing for me. Actually, I had the vision, but I didn't know how to go. So now I think that it will help me a lot. And yeah, I don't know when, but yeah, I will spend some months or maybe a year around Americas, and then I want to go back to Hatay and start a project in Turkey. So yeah, this is me. I pass to Michael.
Thanks, and thank you guys. I just wanted to jump in quick because I'm gonna run and come back and join the call again. But my name is Michael. I'm in Canada. It's a snowstorm right now, and yeah, my journey started in just the love and desire to see the world shift into a more sustainable pattern. And I came from a background of engineering, mechanical engineering, and went to sustainable architecture and building science, and just looking for ways that we could build and create more sustainably, more connected with the earth. And then I moved into like natural building techniques. I went to the Earthship Academy in New Mexico. Hey, Vivian. I met I'll just keep going. I met Regen Tribe in Tulum, Mexico, when my partner and I were on a creation trip down there, which was right after we bought our own piece of land in the forest in Quebec and wanted to start being closer to nature and start building and start holding a space for community and for people to build and do something special together. My perspective is big on not just energetic and construction sustainability, but also relational intimacy between community members. Like I think that we as a species need to be intimately connected and more connected with our yes and our no and our feelings inside, and also being able to interact with each other from a more real place. And that makes a richer experience, a richer life for all of us. And also, I think naturally directs us on a more regenerative, cohesive, harmonious path when we are with that in ourselves and with other people and our community members. So yeah, my partner and I work a lot with relationships, physicality, sexuality in energetic senses, and how we can relate to each other in intimate ways and walk a harmonious, sovereign, powerful, natural, organic path of love. So I'm excited to help guide the world in this direction. That's why I'm here, guys. That's why I love you all.
Nice.
Thank you for hosting this.
Welcome, Michael.
I'll pass it on over to Akash, and I'll come back in a moment.
Hello, namaste everyone. So this is Akash from Nepal. It's very lovely to be here and to see everyone again and to share my ideas and my story over here. So yeah, where do I start? I mean, it's been a while that I've been working with land. So I was doing my studies in India back in 2017 when I graduated. I really wanted to learn about community development, kind of learn about how can we live a bit alternative lifestyle rather than the mainstream lifestyle. So I was volunteering and working in different community works in India, and I stumbled upon Oroville. So I was working there for almost a year in different projects inside Oroville, and it was a very amazing experience for me. That kind of like shifted my path towards this regenerative agriculture initiative. So when I came back to Nepal, I tried to work on a few of the ideas or projects that was happening in Nepal, but I felt that it was very much derailed towards more mainstream ideas about funded projects for big corporation and everything. So that was not so much what I wanted to do, and I wanted to really work with the local community, local economy, and to do that, I think the best platform for me was agriculture, because in Nepal there's a lot of agriculture going on, and it's very amazing because we still have a lot of traditional agriculture, which is slowly being replaced by modern agriculture, which is kind of destroying like the land and everything. So I really wanted to work with that. So I think now it's been 4 years. I have a farm here. I have a small farm which I run by the name Bar people, which comes from two of the most ancient trees that is found in Nepal, and which also represents the masculine and feminine energy in our Hindu scriptures, Bar and people. So I've been running this farm for last 4 years, sorry, and I'm trying to work on different regenerative practices to kind of regenerate soil. How can I like develop more food forest, get more animals which are free, and kind of like work with the local communities. And I've been very closed for like 4 years because it was more experimenting and researching. But from this year, I'm kind of opening up for the more people to come here, volunteer, learn, and share, and kind of for me to also learn. And I think that's the main idea for me to come and in this program to meet people who are in this journey, who are doing different work with different alternative, regenerative ideas, and kind of like, bring that here, because in my place right now, a lot of young people are leaving the country because of the economy and everything. So it's very hard to kind of connect and work with local youth. So I wanted to work with more people if globally and kind of learn more. So yeah, that's been my journey, and I hope I can learn more from you guys and share my work that I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, and yeah, just connect, learn, and enjoy this journey. And thank you for having me here. Thank you. And yeah, I think I would like to pass to Vivian.
Thank you. Maybe let's just hear if you guys hear the vacuum super loud right now that just started going. If not, I would maybe wait and take a later turn, but if it's fine, I can go right now.
I think it's fine.
I'm fine?
Pretty well.
All right. All right, I'm Vivo, or I go by Vivo. Thank you guys so much for sharing. That's super interesting. I love to hear all the different stories. It's so inspiring. I met Regen Tribe last summer in Berlin, where I'm from and based. And I was traveling half a year before and just realized I have so many people around me who kind of share that same vision of wanting to start a project, go more into nature, regenerate the earth. And I thought that was super inspiring. And I always had this feeling like there needs to be a way to like connect all these projects and make it more of a collective effort. And then I came back to Berlin after my travels, and then I met Regen Tribe like that, telling me they're trying to be the mycelium network for all these projects that are emerging. And it was just like, oh my God, amazing. And I had a big career change, if you will, and I was like, I knew I wanted to contribute, but I felt like I was lacking any sort of skill to be able to do that. So now with this agent training happening and me being able to travel again and visit communities where I'm currently learning about bioconstruction and permaculture, it's just really fast tracking everything that I wanted like in the last year, and it's been so amazing, and I'm super excited to learn from all of you and from this training. And yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you, Vivi.
You're welcome, Viv.
And I would pass to, I don't know if anyone hasn't gone yet. I think everyone went.
Andoni is still pending to be heard.
Yeah, Endo, if you want.
And I think Claire, I don't know. Oh, she jumped off. Okay. Well, I was really excited to meet her. Andoni.
I'm here. Sorry, guys. I was plugging things in.
Happy you're here.
Okay, so tell us what you're excited about the space, what motivates you, what your drive is here.
In my case, yeah. Well, to me, it's been a journey of understanding a different perspective to look at things, to look at the world. And it's about coming from a law background. I've been working in real estate and corporate and sustainability for a while, but it's been very enhancing to incorporate the regenerative concept into it. And I've done so theory, and I kind of wanted a more structured space to kind of put this together, and that's my wife, Claire. So it was like very interesting to see a program by you guys, by Regen Tribe, that comes from experience, and I value that enormously. You know, like it's coming from a real place of experience and not just theory. You know, so it's very humbling to be in the company of shapers and makers that I've seen develop communities from the ground up and sustain them, like keep them true, and not just have it be a marketing label, but a real value system, a real way of life, regenerative. And that's like what I feel I want to add into the mix, that I want to bring these tools from a regenerative perspective into projects.
Nice. Nice. Thank you, Ando. Yeah, the commitment to authentic practices that prioritize more than just revenue is one of the fundamental principles of the regenerative movement.
Yeah, and you know what I see about that is regenerative means, in many senses, being like multidisciplinary and taking account other sorts of definitions that are not only exclusive to one domain of knowledge, like construction or real estate or like condominium and neighborhood law. So to incorporate the truly regenerative, revenue becomes something more richer in a definition than just financial or net revenue. Like I see the environmental revenue, the social revenue, the transcendent revenue, you know, the significance for a person to go through a process like this is very wholesome, and you get to see beyond it. Like, really, it's not just the numbers. The numbers are going to be there, and are going to be there sustainably so. There are so many developments in real estate, and some people don't talk about this, but there are so many failures in traditional real estate development that to be regenerative means to incorporate a new category of things into a project in itself. And that is not just financial, and that's the value, that it's beyond financial. No, it's beyond revenue.
Yeah, I'm really happy you shared that, Andoni. This is one of the, well, we were sharing it with some of the community members here in Honduras, where Sonia and myself, Nicole remotely, we are actively working with a pop-up city here in Honduras, on the island of Roatan, to establish their long-term community plan, and explaining to many of the community members what the beauty of a regenerative neighborhood is that the infrastructure, compared to other traditional developments, is integrated with sustainable practices that give it already a plus value versus just being a random box in a random jungle or in a random place. And then the key piece to that, right? Let's say the box in the jungle is the box. The sustainability piece is the sprinkles on top, and the gold in the middle of it is the human element, the people that are living together and giving each other the connection that all of us as, let's say, social creatures, as pack animals that we are as humans, get to thrive in being around people that are similar and also different, and have very aligned goals and some very complementing goals coming from a different direction, and skills. And the beautiful thing in a regenerative neighborhood is the combination of sustainable infrastructure that gives us all of the important things we need for life: water, food, energy. And the golden nugget in the middle is the programming, right? Michael touched on this. I'm excited for him to come back on the call. The programming that catalyzes and speeds up the process of a group of individuals that can look very different from each other and can have very different ideas from each other, to actually come together and create, I think this is the wrong thing, and create a really, really beautiful, synced community experience with each other and for each other.
I think before we dive into that, I'm really interested to hear all of your opinions about that topic, and also let's explore a little bit more all the terminology. This is something that Oscar touched on a little bit before. I think to begin with, it would be good to outline what can you expect in the upcoming 6 weeks. How do we see the beginning of the course and throughout the course, and then the end of the course sitting in your minds and in our minds. So the high level intention for the course is to you can. Okay, there you go. Okay, so what can you expect? We're gonna this week is an orientation week, an introduction week. So today we're gonna talk all the ideas and status quo of what you imagine regenerative neighborhood movement to be, as well as what you can expect in the next weeks. And the second call of this week will be hosted by Laila. It will be more focused on you as individuals, your superpowers, and how you can contribute to the movement as a consultant, with your unique power and your unique gifts. So that's going to be really exciting. Yeah, and the high-level intention is to introduce you to all of these topics. I think Oscar mentioned that creating a community is such a broad area that it's really hard to put all the pieces together, especially in such a short period of time. So I think the main intention will be to go through the topics. We synthesize the community creation process into 10 steps, which are available in the Community Alchemy guide. You can find the link in the document that is sent in the chat with all the other important links. And so we're going to be going over all of these topics, having a brainstorming conversation about what it means for you, and sharing our experience working with different projects globally to explore what are the best practices, and also what are the things that you probably shouldn't do or you probably should consider while creating a regenerative neighborhood. So yeah, like a little recap of what you can expect in the next 6 weeks, since this week is fully committed to you guys dipping your feet in the topic and deciding if this is something that is interesting for you.
Yes, okay, so we just discussed what the topics of this course, kind of a high level. This 10-step alchemy guide that you all have access to is a live document. In the chat here, you guys have a link to, let's see, where is it? I'm gonna drop it again.
Yeah, it's here. You can just respond to it. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm gonna drop it again.
Yeah.
Okay, I've just dropped the document again. So this is like your cheat sheet for this course. On there, you guys have a series of links to different documents that we will be using throughout the course. The basis of this course is the Community Alchemy Guide. Sonia's showing you, this is the link to that document. On here, you'll be able to find links. So I encourage you all to, well, this will be in the agent group that you guys are all part of on the Tribes platform. I invite you all to save this link in a chat with yourselves somewhere in your notepad, so you can access the important links that we'll be sharing here regularly. You'll find the links to each course, each call, and a little bit further down.
Yeah, we have the important.
Here are the links to the important documents that you will be engaging with and using for yourself to familiarize yourself with the tools that we have been developing as a collective to empower the creation of regenerative neighborhoods. Nicole, I'd love for you to share a bit about the content, about how we pieced this together, or why we're piecing it together. After you, dear.
Yeah, so we've been working on this guide probably for a year and a half, probably close to 2 years now. And a lot of it is taking existing literature and summarizing it, knowing that, we wanted to create a guide, but we don't know everything. So we look to the communities that were successful. And we also took our own experiences having observed communities, lived in communities, managed and operated communities. And this all comes together in the Community Alchemy Guide. Feel free to leave comments or read through. It's a very dense, there's a lot of information in this guide. You're not expected to, you know, read through all of this during the course, but we have made a synthesized version of this for you as a consultant to be able to use as your process when you're guiding through someone through like a decision-making framework, basically being able to describe, you know, here are all the options available to you for your governance or your economic system, or, you know, here's how you can build, here's the different revenue streams available to communities. In here you can find, you know, questions to ask, the important questions to ask, data to gather, links to articles, books, like existing examples. A lot of our resources are on tribes, community manifestos, pitch decks, master plans. A lot of that is what someone who's building a community will need to know about and will need to know how to do. So this, what you're looking at, is the foundation of, you know, just our compiled knowledge. It isn't always organized because it's a living document. So we throw information in there and we format after, as I say, like write drunk, edit sober. We're just drunk on regenerative neighborhoods, and you know, we try to compile all of the information that we find, and we're systematically organizing it as we write it. So that's there for you. It's a resource that you'll always have access to. We'll be exploring different key metrics to be able to consult on, to know in the process. And we'll also be exploring how you can specialize, for example, in a specific topic. So like Andoni, for example, would probably really love to rock the legal structures and being able to consult for legal structures, because there's quite a few unique legal structures available to communities depending on your situation. So what we want to teach you is just a high-level framework of being able to, you know, do a comparison chart of this is the difference between all of these, and that's one of the outcomes of this course. Oscar, what's up?
Yes, I wanted to share kind of the journey of creating one of these communities, again, is a holistic approach. Andoni hit it on the head. The beauty of one of these projects is that we take into account not just the infrastructure, not just the sustainable systems, not just the humans and the nature and the animals and the food, but all of the things, right? How the humans interact with each other, with the infrastructure, how technology connects it all, how money works in this society, how we talk to each other, all of these things. So this alchemy guide is an attempt to explore all of these topics, and we have grouped it into 10 key sections. Can you scroll to the,
Yeah.
go to the sections? Yeah, right. Okay, that's this one. Okay, so to these 10 main sections. And in each of these chapters, you will find a series of questions that, through our experience in meeting with land projects and vision holders and community members, they have shared with us, oh, I wish we thought about this at the start of our project. Or, oh, you know, after we did this, we realized this was actually the best for us. And after multiple years and projects and taking really good notes, we have essentially gathered a series of 60 questions that most projects should be sharing with potential community members. The biggest desire for every community land project that we've encountered is to find more aligned community members to join their project. I'm sure Vivo, traveling to projects around the world, Akash, from what you've seen both at the project you had first, was it
Oroville.
No, Oroville, right? Oroville, and I imagine with your own project, right? how great would it be, right, Michael, as well, to have an extra 5 humans there that are aligned with the mission and there to actually put hands on the earth and on the mission and on the tasks and help with them. So the goal of this guide is to ask you the questions that help answer to potential community members important points that they need to consider to join your community. In the Alchemy Guide, there is many questions and topics. We've summarized, like Nicole said, the main questions into this agent workbook, which is a summary of these main points that you as a consultant, when you approach a regenerative neighborhood, an intentional community, an eco-village that is looking to succeed, to attract more members, to grow, to operate better, these are all topics that, in the best case, they have thought about, written topics about it, and created a plan for it. You as an agent, as a consultant, your goal will be to introduce these questions to these communities and these vision holding teams and guide them through the process of answering the questions. This agent workbook outlines these important 60 questions. You'll see here they are organized and categorized in the same order as the alchemy, the community alchemy guide. In this one, we add, well, it matches also the alchemy guide, section 0. Section 0 being the status quo. Where is this project currently in its journey? Okay, cool. So as you can see here, we have alchemy guide, and alchemy guide starts also with step 0. Where are you on your journey? As you go through the agent book, you'll be able to click a topic here, and this will take you to the corresponding alchemy guide section, where you will see many other build-up questions and references to keywords and other guides that are out there. The way we have been piecing together and growing our alchemy guide is by finding other really talented creators out there, building their guides, and we reference a lot of the awesome information that's out there and present it in the most summarized thing that we can, which is our alchemy guide. And then one step more than that, the summary agent workbook for you guys to familiarize yourself with the questions and have a direct reference book to, right? This is a university course. The alchemy guide is your textbook, and the agent workbook is your equation sheet that gives you the main points that you can reference in the textbook. Sonia, scrolling through here so you can see it matches section by section. Each one of the questions have a link that takes you over to the alchemy guide. This agent workbook, we are currently updating and matching exactly to the alchemy guide. So every call that we have, we will be taking your feedback. So you guys are co-creators of this.
Feel free to comment on the document,
right.
Both the community alchemy guide and the agent workbook. You can comment in here. Yeah, we have a bunch of comments in here from our side. So feel free to add your suggestions. We'll make it easier for you if you have any questions on the way. Or maybe you want to add something to the alchemy guide as a resource, since many of you already have knowledge about regenerative neighborhood creation. That would be really helpful, as this is a living organism, the community alchemy guide. I think it's also good to mention that the questions in the workbook are matched one-to-one with the neighborhood onboarding form on the Tribes platform, which Michael, that's not here at the moment, Akash are familiar with since they onboarded there. neighborhoods. And so this is also an exercise that we're going to be going through to review all these questions on different examples of regenerative neighborhoods. So it's going to be fun. I think to just put it in a pill, it is a lot of information. Don't get overwhelmed. The Community Alchemy guide has a lot of really great resources that we're going to be going through together. And the agent workbook is a place for you where you can find all the questions synthesized. So we extracted the most important ones that we ask vision holders in the first place. So don't worry, we're going to be going through that together. You have your support document, and we can always look at the most relevant things. I also encourage you to, again, leave comments, ask questions on the Tribes platform, since this is a tool that's supposed to serve support for anybody that wants to know more about the community creation process. So yeah, we're gonna do that together. So this is just a snippet for you guys to see what kind of resources we're going to be using and how to prepare for next week's for the next 6 weeks with us.
Right. Okay, so we are about halfway through our first call, you guys. Are there any questions up to this point? Any clarifying things that anyone would like to know more of? We've shared now kind of what this course is about, how the flow of this course will be, and what are the resources, all of the content that we will be exploring throughout the course. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share or put out there? The next step will be for us to share how we are using all of this as a consulting agency, how the work that we're doing right now, honestly, there's more than we can handle. There's people out there with projects that really need help, and between the four of us that are holding calls, our focus now is to see how we can help more of those projects. So thank you guys for being here. Is there any questions? We're going to share a few more minutes and then we'll take a little break so everyone can get up. We'll do like a little embodiment thing so you can shake it off for a few seconds and tune back in. If anyone has any questions, feel free.
Any technical questions, any questions about the process. If not now, feel free to reach out to any of us. I'm definitely available to answer any of your questions if after the call anything is unclear for you and you want to keep on going through the resources because they're so exciting, and then I'm happy to help you with that.
Okay, beautiful. Again, feel free, if you guys ever at any point have questions, jump in, right? The idea here is that we are brainstorming. Everyone, Vivo, you mentioned oh, I don't have the skills.
And don't you?
Okay, girl, all of us have skill and magic that we're bringing to the table. The goal that we want to bring tonight is that you're all powerful creators, and with these resources and tools available to you, you can take your magic and bring it to the people that really need this specific research that we have been gathering for the last amount of time. Ando, yeah?
So I have one question before we start to dive in. Mm-hmm. Are you guys familiar with the Regenesis Institute and kind of their Regen program?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what is the level of certification or the level of knowledge, consulting stuff, experience that this program will have? Is it something curricular that is comparable to some of these courses, or is it just a workshop, more open?
So this is the first step in the agent kind of journey. In this course, we will be sharing essentially the basic 1 through 10 steps and the tools that you can use to guide vision holders in asking themselves these questions. Over the rest of the series of the programs, we will be also holding in-person conference-style activities where agents will join other agents and also vision holders to explore more tangible, let's say, practical application exercises of some of these topics. The following step will be on-site practices, where we will also invite agents who have gone through the course to join us at physical land projects that are requesting our support in different capacities. You know, like here in Honduras, this big project called Prospera. They are a unique project. We'll share a lot about this in the use case sections later. The goal for us is to have hands on deck. Let's say, accreditation will really come from us observing that the agents training and moving through the course have the knowledge and the practice with the tools that we are preparing the Regen Tribe ecosystem, which is what we will talk about next, to provide these land projects in need the help that they're looking for to put together the extra puzzle pieces they don't have or haven't even thought of yet. So the accreditation will come, the validation essentially comes from your participation both through the courses and through the digital involvement that will give us the, let's say, what I'm looking for, will give us the confidence to assign an agent with a physical land project somewhere around the world in need of the specific skills that they need to fill in the puzzle pieces.
And so okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick note on that. You will receive like a small certificate at the end of this program, but I think the real value that we want to be able to offer people who participate in this program is that we constantly get approached by real projects and real opportunities to like work and consult, and we just have too much on our plate and want to feel confident, you know, and that people are really trained in the process, but also like this is an opportunity for people to be skilled in consulting both projects that we can bring to you as well as all of the projects out there. So it's kind of like when you come out of university, what's more valuable, the diploma or like the job that you get after? And I think we want to be able to connect people with like actual careers in this, and we're aware of different opportunities that you can plug in. So that's also like an added value. I just have I want to point out 2 questions in the chat, and then Andoni, when you're not speaking, if you want to mute your microphone because I think there's some background noise, you're awesome. Thank you. And then Michael's asking, what's the best way to connect? Michael, you want to clarify if you want to connect like with Sonia to ask questions or to connect with the group when we're not on calls?
Hey, yeah, it was just for questions, basically.
Okay, so the agent group on the Tribes platform is a great place to host these conversations, right? A big support for us is going to be to share very publicly what this journey looks like. You guys are the first cohort. You are the first pioneer agents in training for this program. And a big support for us and this process and the course will be to share publicly the things that we're learning, the questions that we're asking, right? Our goal is to take this as global as possible, to bring this to as many people around the world as we can, to empower the creation of places around the world. So the agent channel and group on the Tribes platform is a great place, Michael. We live in there. We're always pretty much logged in there. We're also considering a more direct private chat after the orientation week that mhm.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna launch a Telegram chat with all of you guys that want to take the course and want to participate in the next 5 weeks after this introduction orientation week. Once you make a decision and it calls you the Regenerative Neighborhood Agent path is calling you, then we're gonna invite you to the private Telegram chat where we will be able to more immediately respond to all of the requests and ask. And in the meantime, the agent group and tribes, as well as you can just chat with me, Michael, if you have any additional questions about the structure.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, right? Every question is valuable. Every question is important to make sure you guys are feeling full confidence, right? And so to speak to the previous point that Andoni asked, 2 ways of this confidence being built is the way we will track the process of agents through this journey is through something we're calling the Regenerative Neighborhood Agent Passport. Imagine like an FBI badge, right? That has like your badge and your picture, and it'll be a passport that demonstrates the courses that you have accomplished. Ooh, we just got disconnected, I think.
No, I think we're good.
To reconnect.
Oh,
Can you guys hear us still?
Yeah, you're fine.
I hear you still.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so
Okay.
it'll be the agent passport. This will be, right, after each course, you will get a diploma, a certificate of the number of hours and direct links to the curriculum of what you've been introduced to and what you've accomplished through that course. And the continuity of that will be the passport. This passport will display not only you're sharing all the screens that you're opening, yeah. It'll show not only the courses you've done, but also the specific subject matter that you are, let's say, observed by our team and validated that you have knowledge about, and that we as a collective feel confident that you can share with people interested in this journey that need the help. So that's one thing to answer a little more about your question, Andoni, and the continuity of this and how this will become a certification over time. The second thing that I wanted to share is we will be launching what we call the Regen Tribe Hotline. This will be a let's say 24-hour, 7 days a week group where as agents, you will be able to get access to one of us on the team within 24 hours to receive any kind of guidance or support from the Regen Tribe team. So this gives you knowledge in your pocket of all the work that we've been doing and all the work that anyone else in the agent program is getting involved with and getting experience with. So you have the knowledge, and with the passport, you will have all the branding and recognition of people to say, oh, okay, you're part of this collective. Let me check them out, right? The website, the platform, the guide, all of those things. This is a collective, you guys. We're building this for everybody. And the goal of this training is to empower you guys to use those tools efficiently and to also be confident in showing your, let's say, connection and knowledge through the passport and through the hotline and the direct channels that we will be having as a team and as a collective.
I can't find my call.
Ooh, okay, Sonia's looking for her call. I think this is a good moment. We're halfway through the call, a little bit more than that. I invite you guys all to stand up, shake a little bit. Let's do like a breath together, you guys. Take a bathroom break if you'd like. We're gonna stretch over here. We're in the tropics. It's hot here. You have the fan on. A little bit of AC, and we're still sweating. I'm sweating here. I'm excited about this.
Give me the temperature.
Yeah. Okay.
Break.
Yeah, bathroom break. Take like a couple minutes here, guys. I'm gonna go to the bio break.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. How's that sound, you guys?
Yes, you guys. Take a couple minutes. So we are recording the calls. As people would like to join later on, we will be offering the courses recorded for them to tune in, catch up on the calls. Sonia also has an AI kind of translator going through here, giving notes and summaries of the calls. So we would ask that they tune in, do a little catch up. We'll have a few questions to ask them to make sure they're caught up on the content. And then we would invite them to join at whatever point of the calls that we're in.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Of course, right? A big part for us is to be as sure as possible that people have the questions, the topics familiar enough to understand the questions that are being asked to the vision holders and to the community projects, and the familiarity with the tools for them to help them answer those questions effectively, right? We are currently doing a development update to the Tribes platform for the onboarding journey of a new regenerative neighborhood. And that onboarding journey is gonna match the exact alchemy guide and agent workbook. So we are customizing the platform to facilitate the things that you guys are learning in this course to easily translate that onto the tribe and give them another tool for their regenerative neighborhood journey.
Cool.
So definitely,
Awesome.
to listen to the recordings. We'll do a short check-in with them, and then they'll jump in at whatever point they're at. They'll have all the videos and the AI notes for the content.
And they can also get the course after we finish all the recording. So after the 6 weeks, the course will be available for you. And as I mentioned, after you finish the online course, you're going to get the first stamp on your Regen Agent Passport. And so this is just the beginning of the journey of you guys becoming neighborhood consultants. Then comes the on-site training and co-consulting projects with us. So we're going to be inviting agents to join us during online conversations as well as on-site conversations with vision holders to give you a little bit more experience with that. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andoni, I'm happy you asked about the whole certification and journey. Like, this for us is the tip of the iceberg, this call. You guys are really pioneering what we are doing as Regen Tribe, which is, I think, what we're going to talk about next. This model of how do we help create more regenerative neighborhoods around the world, right? With a micro example of, instead of us as a team finding a piece of land, raising the funds we need to build out our own community, instead, with the money that we have been able to raise and gather, what we're doing is creating an ecosystem that will empower the creation of many regenerative neighborhoods around the world. In that same train of thought, this tip of the iceberg coursework is the first official presentation of this content. And the follow-up to it, we have a graphic, I think, of like the steps of the agent journey. We'll share a link in the document that you guys have. Let's add that to the agent document. Not now, but we'll do it after.
Yeah, and you can find that on the agent group on the Tribe.
It's in the agent group, yeah. The continuity of this that will not only help you learn the topics and practice them in real life and then on site with real vision holders with the team, but then also connecting you to projects in need for you to support without the team there on site and just through digital support and with the tools that you'll be learning. Okay, is Nicole in here? Because I just saw a message that she got kicked out. Oh, she's here. Okay, great.
I'm here.
Okay, great. So in this next piece of the call, right, we have about 50 minutes left, 45 minutes left. We're going to go through the rest of the Miro board. which will cover some of the key points of what is a regenerative neighborhood, how is this movement spreading, and how what I just touched on, right? Instead of us as a collective building our own project and growing our own community on site at a physical place, we realize there's a lot of projects out there that need help. And by helping each of them a little bit, we get to make more impact. So Nicole, I would love for you to lead these next series of cards.
Yeah, so let's zoom out. You know, starting from the beginning again, like understanding, well, no, not physically, thematically. You know, what do we define as a regenerative neighborhood? And we've boiled it down to these things. Regenerative neighborhoods provide regenerative solutions to all the important things in life: water, food, shelter, energy, circular resource management, and human connection. And these community land developments are innovating in so many different ways. You've seen them probably in all different types, from people wanting to, you know, move off grid and have their own homestead, to people designing whole cities that are sustainable and green. Typically what some of these lack, though, is like maybe innovative social models or a deep sense of tribe and connection to their neighbors. We've developed this concept of regenerative neighborhood as like a very local scale solution to the desire for community and the desire for a more sustainable and regenerative life. And you see them happening from village scale to like people designing cloud countries and network states that match these regenerative principles and philosophies. So there are a lot of different benefits to these communities. We have this chart here that we typically reference. These are different statistics that we picked up through our research as well. Like, regenerative neighborhoods use less resources than the typical American by 70 to 90%. So someone who is living in an eco community will be 70 to 90% of the whole footprint, which is the statistic cited about we need to be about 20 to 10% of our normal consumption rate to avoid climate crisis. So the IPCC typically cites sustainable communities as one way to avoid the climate crises that we face. Cost of living for residents can be 60 to 70% cheaper, and a large majority of people who live in, you know, eco communities say their life is better or much better. And you've probably not heard of the regenerative neighborhood movement so much, but you're definitely a part of it. It's everybody who's collectively awakening to the desire to live in a community that is regenerative, and that manifests in different ways, whether they want to build it themselves, whether they want to join one and they're seeking one to live in for a short term or long term, whether they want to just aid in the creation of them because they have a service and a skill that is one piece of the puzzle. So it's a social movement, you guys, for sure, and you're part of it. It's reflected in all of the trends. Like, the co-living industry is exploding. People wanting to build and live in sustainable housing, just housing alone in residences, without the holistic social component of regenerative neighborhoods. Just that alone as a market is exploding. So we want to follow these trends in the sense that we want to steer them to the most holistic regenerative way possible. So often we consult different projects that are, for example, like the project that they're at right now in Honduras is like super high tech focus. They acquired an abandoned resort, and it's like a very luxurious place, and they're wanting to bring in, you know, studies on biotech science and study longevity, but they could use more of the sustainable and regenerative principles infused into their community. So that's part of what we want to consult different projects, is to kind of maintain a high integrity in how they create and how they achieve regeneration, since it is an ideal, not necessarily something that can be fully achieved. You'll often hear people asking, well, is that really regenerative? And what we say is that it's like, we have some criteria, but it's more so something that we're striving towards and not necessarily something that we're going to reach anytime soon. Oscar.
Yeah, so a lot of these facts and points that you see here will be on your agent workbook as like a cheat sheet of the way that you can effectively communicate to people what a regenerative neighborhood is, what the benefits of a regenerative neighborhood are. And I love this point Nicole just brought up, right? This word regeneration is right now pretty much a buzzword. It went from the green movement to the sustainability movement, and now we're in the regenerative movement. And I like to think of regeneration as a journey and not an endpoint. The intention and the desire is the first step. Starting to implement systems is the first step, and checking in on yourself to make sure that you are following that journey is really what it's about to accomplish this. And on the other side of that, the regenerative piece, most of everything, right? The earth can take care of itself. We just have to get out of the way. For us, the regenerative piece is really, really a big part focused on the human experience. Humans coming together, taking care of nature, taking care of each other, and being their best selves will lead to the habits and practices that will bring regeneration to the planet by being aware of it. Okay, just wanted to share that all of these points will be we'll be kind of creating a little sheet for you guys, part of the agent workbook, part of maybe like a little insert that will have a lot of these key points that you can use as communication points to familiarize yourself with and make your pitch to communities easier and more effective.
Yeah, so breaking this down, I know a lot of you are familiar with who we are, but it doesn't hurt to explain the model of how we're operating as a collective. We're a regenerative neighborhood accelerator. You know, we take projects and we help them achieve what they want to achieve in 3 years instead of 10, because it does typically cite like a decade it takes to fully establish the community, have it with community members and making enough money to succeed. And the 3-year mark is about when communities fail. So we've built this ecosystem of, you know, the global network, which is mostly manifested in the Tribes platform, but also in you guys and all of our relationships with people like you. And what we're building is an open collective. So we are an open collective of community creators working to build more regenerative neighborhoods. And we use these 3 parts of the ecosystem to do that. Education, typically we're sharing best practices for how to build communities and regenerative neighborhoods. Like in this course, we're developing other curriculum as well that allows for us to translate our findings and our research into practical workshops, experiences, events where people can absorb that information. And then direct support is actually our agency. So we're consulting 2 projects actively right now. And we have some other people always approaching us, always wanting help. So that's where you come in for sure. And part of how we operate is we travel to activate and consult different emerging regenerative community land projects. Links to our website and our social are there. If you want, you can drag a star to like how you heard of us. Very first time, some of us, we met in person. Actually, most people here, we met in person. I can't think, I haven't personally met Akash, but if you want to just drag a star to how you came across this and how we met you, that would be cute. And so does everybody know how to interact with the Miro board as well? Like no troubles, like interacting with it, creating things, duplicating things. It looks like everyone's doing fine. So if you want, scroll up to the first case study. Oscar, scroll up to come on. Yeah. So we're going to start pretty much every week. We're going to have a case study on different successful regenerative neighborhood projects. We thought we'd start off with the one that first kicked off Regen Tribe and its core operations. This was in about an hour outside of Tulum. Ikumo was the place. Andoni knows it. It actually started off as an eco hotel, and this is a trend that we're seeing a lot, is like people have retreat centers or places already with existing infrastructure, and they start to want, well, I don't just want guests always coming through, I want a permanent community, I want the sense of community. So there are a lot of opportunities for different places like that are wanting to convert, that are consulting opportunities. So it was presented with the idea to be a community by Regen Tribe. Oscar, Sonia, Yulia, and some other original team members were on site. I actually, I attended the eco fair and I never met them, and there were only 2, and it's one of those insane things. But this is over 2 years ago. And so this is something that Regen Tribe did. All they did was organize 2 weekend events called the Eco Fair, brought together artisans, performers, taught some workshops on composting, hosted some ceremonies and some conscious lifestyle activities, and activated the community. And this resulted in raising $150K to install sustainable infrastructures from an investor. And ultimately the place blew up. They installed more domes, they expanded their infrastructure and their architecture, and they now host events regularly and have people on site all the time. And it's far out. It's like it's pretty far in the jungle, and it's like an hour from away from major cities, but people will now drive an hour just to be able to go to Ikumal and take part in the community there. So we thought we'd do an exercise in having you guys think about what do you think made this project successful, and getting familiar with, you know, the kind of aspects of success that make a community thrive. So I'm starting you guys off with the suggestion. Like, for example, this is something that you wouldn't know, but the owner was an architect. So there's like a strong sense of aesthetics. And it wasn't just like a rustic place in the jungle, but it was actually a place that you went and you were awed by. And it was like spatially designed to be a positive experience. So those are some things to keep in mind as well. Sometimes people build communities and forget the aesthetic experience, but the community should also be an experience. One of my favorite quotes is like, the spaces we design us back. So I'm going to put on like a song, you know, we can jam for 2 minutes, and you guys can just quietly kind of brainstorm around what you think might have made this project successful. And you can use the sticky notes to the right and just add your ideas. Okay. I love seeing everybody jam on there and add their ideas. You can keep adding as we talk, but I want to break some of these down and maybe add a few. So interestingly enough, a lot of people wrote like nature focused, jungle, trendy location. Location definitely plays a part, but what we found is people will not want to go to a community just, for example, just to be in nature. One pitfall that we found, like people trying to attract people to the community, it's like, well, I'm just going to offer them an experience. Like, a jungle immersion and people just want to be in nature. And the real truth is that people want to be around other awesome people in nature, and still be able to live their lives, you know, to a certain degree of quality. So I like fun people coming together. That was definitely a part of it. We find that people is like such an element when it comes to activating your community, and many people struggle with the actual activation of it. I'm going to add one that I didn't see, and that it had existing infrastructure. So starting from, for example, raw land is really tough. And so if you're consulting someone, or if you're considering you know, buying your own land and creating your own community, keep in mind that it is, quote unquote, really regenerative to actually take maybe an existing place with infrastructure and convert it, or potentially degraded land, versus having a piece of land that you clear to build your sustainable community. So existing infrastructure helps a lot, because it helps get those people on site sooner. You want to be able to get people living there, have a sense of community as soon as possible, without necessarily compromising on being able to offer people, you know, running water and electricity and internet, because some people rush too soon to try and get people on site when they're not actually ready to host people, and that can kind of affect a community's reputation and inhibit people from wanting to visit and come back and tell their friends about it. So this is great. So congruent, real sustainability, cool, authentic, forward-thinking, conscious people. The community plays a huge part. That is one of our, once we go through all of the 10 steps, that's actually like the 9th step is activating the community with people, but it actually starts in steps 1 and 2 when you're designing your culture and learning how to recruit people who are going to support the vision before it's someplace that they can visit, before it's already done for them, because you'll have the pioneers who want to help you and co-found, and then you'll have the people who will just come to consume, which is fine. Digital marketing. Who wrote digital marketing? Oh, sorry, I didn't have the Zoom open, so I didn't see your hand.
It was me.
It was you. So marketing is one of the things that is,
I can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's understated, I think. People don't realize some of the successful communities that we've seen are actually running paid ads. There is merit to like organically growing, but there is value in, you know, doing a consistent, organized, and even paid marketing to be able to get the word out about your community and to be able to invite people. So that is one thing.
I would love to add a little piece about that. Like, I would say the journey of putting a project that had been around for 5 years and almost nobody knew about it, to it being the talk of the town in Tulum in just a matter of months, was all thanks to us telling the journey of what was happening there every single day. We posted about the building process, about new members arriving, literally giving people this voyeuristic look at this place going from being a fully flat jungle, you know, to becoming what this place became. There are a lot of projects out there that start and have a website up, but you don't really know if anything's actually happening in this project. Maybe they post on Instagram, maybe they post on Facebook. This was one of the big reasons why we decided to build the Tribes platform, to give people a more focused social media platform where they can share their journey, and a better format for them to tell the timeline of the creation of their community project. When people can see the journey, right? Like in a lot of startups, they get to look under the hood and see what's happening in there. People get really committed to a project. They want to come to the events. They get connected with the people at these projects and the goals and even the challenges. So this really organic digital marketing, I've just started here on the board, you guys, kind of a big tips section where we'll be adding a lot of the little things that we talk about to keep in mind, a lot of the big suggestions that we will be making and that we currently make to regenerative neighborhoods and vision holding teams on what I like to consider the pieces of the puzzle that they need to succeed, right? For some of them, it's finding the right land. For some of them, it's getting the legal structure right. For some of them, it's building a building. For some of them, it's telling the story effectively. More than not, it's that one. Telling people what they're doing and consistently providing evidence that they are moving in a positive direction. This is what we find time and time it takes for someone observing a project to get motivated enough to leave their life wherever they are to come live in one of these places or become an active member of one of these communities.
Awesome. Yeah. So part of what we're trying to do is also we have all of this knowledge and consulting tips and maxims, almost like just truth that we found along our journeys, and we're wanting to consolidate that so that is available to you, so that everything that's in our brains can be in your brains as well. So thanks for adding that section. I encourage anybody, if you want to drop a link, if you want to like paste a note in here, thoughts that you have, questions that you have, things that you that's burning on your brain. It's like, this is a whiteboard, this is a creative space. We'll be presenting the curriculum on here, but we'll also be just co-creating this together. So I want to kind of analyze maybe just one or two more of these before we move on, because time compels us forward. So yes to marketing. I want to break down, I guess, like there's some things that I feel like some of the suggestions where it's like, yes and no, it had that, but it didn't really have that. I guess like local community support, it did and it didn't have that so much. Like I think yes to like the relationships with bringing in artisans and people who are really passionate about sustainability. Namely, we had a relationship with like the plastic, well, we were the plastic waste initiative, you know, collecting plastic and turning it into the eco bricks that were used to build the infrastructure as like fortification. And so local community partnerships, I think, are underrated when it comes to, you know, strengthening the success of your community. And it's not so much just like a sustainable vision alone that will make something successful, if not the relationships of the people who are willing to come back to it. So I'm curious too, like flexible community model, who wrote that?
I wrote that
Oh,
because I thought that it's like a hotel first, so it's kind of a touristic place. It's not starting with a community. So starting from a hotel model makes it kind of a flexible community model, maybe. Yeah.
I see that, because you're not starting out with like a core group of people who are saying this is what it is, but it allows for the community to kind of, the physical space is there, and whoever comes brings the intention. Someone wrote they thought like having a clear intention was part of the success, and it in this case it wasn't really. There was a clear intention around kind of like almost unstated like conscious living and you know, Tulum jungle consciousness and conscious community and sustainable living, but it wasn't so defined. And I think that that flexibility allowed for people to come and kind of make it their own. And so being able to participate was really open. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really intuitively great observation, Jam. That the flexibility of this allowing people to come and taste test and show up for a few days, a few weeks, right? This is how Sonia showed up there with her friends on like a Mexico tour. Allowed the throughput to come through this place, right? And this goes in hand with what Michael wrote in the chat here of it had an existing business model, right? The business model being a hotel that gave the open door policy to allow a lot of people to come through and visit the place and see what it's about. And then some of those people decided to stick by, like Sonia, right? Came, stayed as a guest, a few months later, came back and came as a permanent, semi-permanent fixture and human joining the community. So yeah, two really good ones. This is why we always share that real estate is one of the key business models for a regenerative neighborhood success. Because you need to build infrastructure and housing for people to join and to be there and to have accommodation. And this works both to create a revenue source, but also as housing for people that want to stay there and join the community. Hey guys, we have about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm just really quickly grouping this, like, let me see, part of the culture, kind of the culture, location, and so we can see there are some like factors around that you can't really control that are just more luck. Like obviously the time of COVID, everyone was flooding Mexico and Tulum in particular, paying attention to location because ultimately it's community real estate. If you want people to come live in and buy into your community, you have to be very wary of where the location is. So this, when you're consulting someone or when you're working on your own community project, do some analysis around, you know, the location and what is nearby and building local community relationships and what's available to you. So I just did some grouping of those. It'll be really interesting, I think, to revisit this and add as we go through other case studies. But I would say we had a bio break scheduled here because time-wise, we were expecting to get through all of that in the first half. But let's like zoom out and do like a quick, maybe 5-minute breakout of, well, we can skip that breakout because we can go to the regenerative design lenses and then talk about the approaches. And then we'll be available for like another half hour after the call to like answer questions, go deep and dive. We'll be on here, we'll be talking and summarizing.
I would love to see like this breakout is a really cool idea, like measuring success, right? Like, what do you guys consider? We can just do it all collectively for like 2 minutes, right?
Okay,
what do you guys consider success for a regenerative neighborhood? What do you consider like the key things that for you, right? Because every person's different. And the most beautiful thing about community is we get all of the perspectives from all our unique lenses. And this is one of the most powerful things of community. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see what you guys consider to be like success metrics.
Can I think, let me see, I'm having trouble if whoever's clicked on the actual square, there you go, and then I'll just yeah, here.
Okay, time's up, time's up, time's up. You can keep writing. Let's see. Yeah, I shared like creating our own food and water. Like that to me is very, very important. Like radical sovereignty, right? Not depending on let's say the city infrastructure, right? By creating our own food, I also mean by networks with locals, right? So local community, like local network, right? You said, Nicole, is a huge one. That's a huge success metric for me.
Mm-hmm. I think positive local impact as well for me, like not just having offering something good to the people who are a part of it, but then sharing that with local community.
Right, right. Agree.
Someone wrote having an animal support area, like huge.
That was me also.
Having a radical heart, innovation, collaborations, a business model, like-minded people, great teams, connection with nature, committed communities with consistent leadership. I think that consistent leadership is a huge topic, and we'll definitely get into that probably in topic 3 on aligning and group agreements and governance. But huge piece. The leadership is kind of who ties it together, and in some of your cases it will be you. But a real financial report and support, high mission glue of community. So people kind of united by a very strong mission.
Yeah, and so as you guys wrote down success metrics over there, I here on the screen, I'm looking at the topics throughout the rest of the course, and each one of those falls into one of these categories, right? Topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They all fall into one of these. So we will be visiting and reviewing a lot of these topics and going back to those cards. We might even put those cards over here later on as a follow-up exercise so we can see when we'll be covering some of that stuff.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else you wanted to touch on this?
Yeah, we have like 4 minutes left that we want to honor, right? 2 hours is a long call. We don't want to hold you guys longer. Akash, it's late for you as well. We want to just maybe touch on the following 2 points. We will stay on afterwards of like the topic. So we want to make sure we introduce these topics and at least so you guys know what it's about and we can go through.
Yeah, a lot of these, the first box, the design lenses, is mostly about getting you familiar with talking the talk as you learn to walk the walk as well. All of these are terms that come up a lot in building regenerative neighborhoods and community design. You'll find that they are, there's probably some that are on here that are not on here that also go into it because it's such a holistic endeavor. If you want, you can drag any stars to terms that you're not familiar with that we can also maybe give some more context on. For example, cosmolocalism is the ability to produce and manufacture goods on site. So this is something that's really cool option available to regenerative neighborhoods in that, you know, you can manufacture goods using 3D printers, or you can create your own goods using what you have on site and meet your needs locally. So some of these, it's fun to see, like, you know, what actually is that. And I'll make sure to kind of emphasize these when we touch on them in the topics. This is fun. I love seeing everybody drag and kind of add their stuff. And we can do this again as well. We'll have other people who are not on the call. There will be more people on Thursday as well. Some people couldn't join today, but they'll be starting with us on Thursday. And we'll get us, it's basically to get a read on how familiar everyone is with these terms before we just throw them around. Okay, this is cool. Thanks for adding what you know. We have a homework for the next section. It's very simple. We're going to be using a lot of different terms that are pretty branded and very specific to you know what we've identified as different phrases that refer to archetypes of people, our process, what a regenerative neighborhood is. So your homework for the next session is just reading through this list of terms, noting down any questions that you have. If you want to add comments on the document, you're more than free to. And this will help you be more familiar with the terms that we so casually throw around. Sometimes I think that contributes to people being quite overwhelmed in our process. And this is a great starter point for you to also be able to use these words and speak with a confidence of knowing what you're about. And below you'll see these links as well. The resources for regenerative project criteria. We have our own document in there, as well as links to other prominent documents and groups. There's also Regenesis group, which Andoni mentioned earlier, a really cool like research think tank around regenerative design and land development specifically. Which we follow, and different principles and thinking frameworks. So you guys can explore that on your own time. There's no need, there's no requirement, but this will definitely, these are resources for you to deepen your knowledge and to be able to confidently explain, these ideas when you're consulting. And I think we just want to wrap it up with kind of giving you a high-level overview of development approaches, because in our research we found that people creating a community typically take one of two routes. I would love to maybe do that. I would love to do the exercise now and get a read of how much time you guys have. But the two main approaches are community-led and developer-led. So the first one is the scenario: you find people who are aligned, maybe you build an online community for 2 years, you're searching in forums, you're like getting to know people, you're building a base of people, and then you collectively go together to build a community. The second scenario is maybe you have land or you have existing infrastructure, or you go out and buy land, or you inherit land, or get somehow a location and start building and invite people along the way. Each of them has their pros and their cons. And so in consulting, you want to know, first of all, for your own purpose, what strategy they're already taking, and if it might be more appropriate for them to take another strategy. Because we typically recommend the community-led one, just because you can find, I mean, I can start one of the pros. You can find more people and more capital. Like basically, it's just easier to build a community when you're not doing it by yourself. But there are pros to developer-led, and this doesn't just mean like traditional real estate development, although we have encountered some communities that are like that. It's more so that there's like one or two vision holders, and they're also the developers. They're planning their community, they're financing the community, they're basically in charge. So there are some pros and cons to each, so that you guys have already started organizing. So let's see. Let's add some of these pros and cons, because it's kind of fun. Just 2 minutes doing this, and then we'll move on, and then we'll wrap up the call. When I play music through the speaker, does it come through weird? Does it bother anybody? All good? Okay. All right. We have some pros and we have some cons to each. We will dive more into this when we get into consulting techniques. But in our work, we've been developing a curriculum for a month-long mastermind to dive into this concept of building a community. And like philosophically, it really does divide into like two camps. There can be spectrums of kind of a combination of between these different options, but these are the main approaches, the two main paths that people take to build community. So, and maybe there's a third option that I didn't list, and that it's like converting a community, but that would also be, community led. So yeah, how's everyone feeling? I would love for everybody to leave feedback of the session up here, and then I'll kick it to Oscar to kind of give us the final words.
Yes, you guys. So orientation 1, thank you guys for all joining. It pumps me up to be surrounded by motivated, engaged people who are really excited to take their magic and put a coat of paint over it of regenerative neighborhood knowledge. We've put a lot of energy and love into the things we're creating because deeply we believe that regenerative neighborhoods as a product, as a thing, are a solution to all the important things, right? Water, food, energy, waste, human experience. Like COVID taught us that human experience is crucial for well-being. And the planet asking for help shows us that it's crucial that we get out of our own way to let the planet be its best self. And all of this happens in our household first, and a combination of households are a neighborhood. And this is what the regenerative neighborhood is about and what we're working to spread this movement. And that's the regenerative neighborhood movement. So thank you guys for being here, being excited, taking time out of your days. We are working really, really diligently to make this not just information that you'll receive, but also activities that will make you confident with this information, and content like the passport, like the digital tools that you can use to show your validation to the world that you are more than just excited about a community or curious about a community, but have the resources needed to help communities take their steps to success. And this is what the Regen Tribe Accelerator ecosystem is about. Thank you guys. Leave feedback on the Miro. You have links there. Jump into the tribes group and share in there. You guys, would love for all of you to share a screenshot. Maybe let's take a group shot real quick. Faye, can you do like a big group shot? Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, let's stop sharing. Also, I turned on the board. You can leave anonymous comments as well, so don't be shy to like share what didn't work, what you want more of. Be super honest, because that way we can in real time make each session better and more appropriate for this unique group. So yes, everybody, cameras on. We'll do a little group shot. We always love our family photos. Hello, your beautiful faces.
Okay.
Hi, here we are. Okay, let's see.
Class number 1.
Ah, awesome. Okay. Ah, sweet. We got it.
Beautiful, you guys. Beautiful. Happy Tuesday, everybody. The next class will be Thursday, same time as today. So much love for you guys, for your passion, your excitement, what all of you are doing individually, and what we can all do collectively. I'm counting down the days till we're all in person at one of the next events somewhere in the world, coming to a city and town and community near you.
Yes.
All right, guys, chat in the group. Let's get it pumping. And please share on socials, right? The hug count. We're going to retroactively apply your hugs to the course. So little activities on there. As soon as the platform has the next update to onboarding neighborhoods, we will each be going through the exercise of onboarding a regenerative neighborhood to the platform, which goes through all of the key questions that we will be exploring in the Alchemy Guide. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.